All right, so let's start with our eyes. I'm gonna use my concealer in Born This Way on my eyelids as a base. You can use a primer, eye primer. I'm just gonna use my concealer with a brush. I'm gonna put it all over my eyelid. All right, so for my eyeshadows, I'm gonna use the first palette that I'm gonna use is going to be from my Ben Nye palette. This color is in fuchsia. And I'm gonna use my brush, a fluffy brush, and I'm just going to pack loads of eyeshadow just on my eyelid, starting from the outer corner all the way down to my inner corner of my eyelid. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing on the other eye, just packing eyeshadow from the outer corner to the inner corner, really concentrating on the eyelid. All right, so we're gonna change the brush and go into a more of a fluffier brush, and we're gonna focus on the socket of the eye and try to make sure that that harshness of that eyeshadow that we've created for the eyelid, we're gonna soften that up right underneath the socket as well as over the socket of the eye on both sides. Okay, using my Huda palette, we're gonna use the Man-Eater color. It's dark red, and we're gonna focus on the outer edge of the eye again, right underneath the socket of the eye. Really pack the shadow right under the eye. And we're gonna just keep packing on the other side as well. Okay, so now we're gonna use a fluffier brush, and we're gonna go right on the eyebrow bone and soften up the eyeshadows on both sides. Okay, this part is optional. You can pack a little bit more eyeshadow if you need to darken out the eyes a little more. We're gonna use the Huda palette. The color that we're gonna use is Black Truffle. So it's basically a black color. You can use any eyeshadow that you like. We're focusing on the outer edge of the eye and slowly bringing it towards the middle of the eye, just right underneath the eyebrow bone. Again, going with the fluffy brush, and we're gonna soften the eyeshadow one more time. So blending it and softening it up on both eyes. Okay, again, this part is optional. If you feel like you want to darken out the eyes a little bit more, you can pack a little bit more of the truffle black eyeshadow from the Huda palette or any color that you have. Using the Demure color from the Huda palette and using a fluffy brush, make sure that your brush is clean. We're gonna go over the eyebrow bone to kind of blend the eyeshadows together. All right. Same palette, we're gonna use the Demure color. We're gonna go right underneath the eyebrows, and this is gonna give you that lifting effect on the eyes, and it's gonna blend in the color really well. I'm using my finger. You can also use your brush if you like. Using my NYX Precision Liner, we're gonna create a cat liner. All right, so for eyelashes, I'm using my Mink Lashes. And for just to blend in the lashes with my eyelashes, I'm using mascara. For my mascara, I'm using my Burberry mascara. This is my favorite mascara. So we're just gonna go and blend them in. And now ready for the eyebrows. For my eyebrows, I'm using my Shiseido palette and with a angled liner since it's powder. And we're just gonna really line the eyebrows and fill them in. Okay, so I'm gonna brush my eyebrows to blend the color with my eyebrows. Alright, so we're ready for the base. I'm using my eyeshadow moisturizer to moisturize my skin before applying my foundation. For my foundation, we're gonna be using Rude. I like the texture of this foundation. It's a little bit thicker. And for this look, I prefer just kind of going with a little bit of a thicker base. And I'm actually gonna be using my Beauty Blender to apply it. And as you can tell, it's pretty thick, the foundation itself. I am not really used to putting this much of a thick foundation on a daily basis. I go with a really moisturized or a tinted moisturizer, but for the sake of this look, we're kind of gonna go a bit heavier, and so it is kind of a Halloween look, so we're gonna go a little bit heavier. And for my concealer, we're gonna go with Born This Way. Alright, for the application of the concealer, we're going to go on the outer edge as well as the inner edge, leaving a space like right in between, and then we're going to fill that space with our Beauty Blender. So the goal of the concealer basically is to highlight your eyes. So your concealer color, you want to go with a couple shades lighter than your foundation. We're going to go with the powder. I'm using my foundation powder by Kat Von D with my fluffy brush. Alright, with the same brush as we used earlier to apply the fuchsia color, we're going to go with the same fuchsia color, and we're going to apply that color right underneath the eyes. Okay, so using the same mascara, Burberry, we're gonna go right underneath the eyelashes. Using the cocoa color in the Huda palette, we're gonna go underneath the eyes with the same brush that we used earlier. Okay, using the Naked Shapeshifter, for contouring, we're gonna go right underneath the eyebrow bone. I'm using my Charlotte Tilbury contour brush, and we're gonna go in a C shape. So right underneath the eyebrow bone, over the forehead, and underneath the jaw. Using a fluffy bronzing brush, we're going to apply some of that bronzer over our chin and just a little bit over the eyebrow bone. And we're going to use a brush, just a bit of a fluffier brush, from the same palette, the Naked Shapeshifter. We're going to contour the nose. So for this look, it's going to be a little bit exaggerated. So you can go a little bit exaggerated with the contour because it is more of a Halloween look. Okay, so using the same palette, the Naked Shapeshifter, the highlighter, we're going to go and highlight the nose. Okay, using that highlighter again, I'm using my Charlotte Tilbury contour and highlighter brush, and we're gonna apply that highlighter over the cheekbones and the T-zone. Okay, using a lip liner in red, we're gonna go and line the lips, and we're gonna kind of make it more of a Joker look. So as you are going to watch this, we're gonna actually extend the outer edges a bit far. So if you notice, I'm gonna apply the upper, and then after that we're going to kind of make it a bit more exaggerated, and we're going to extend the outer edges a little bit more. Okay, so now that the lips are lined, this is the part where I was just kind of guiding earlier. We're going to kind of extend it a bit further away from the lips, so making the lips look a lot bigger. It already looks really big, so we're going for that Joker type of a clowny look. So I'm going to just extend the line on the outer edge of my lips. It already looks really good. Okay, for my lipstick, I'm using my MAC lipstick in red. This part is optional. I decided to go with a lip liner that's a little bit darker, so I'm going with my Bedhead lip liner. It's a few shades darker than the liner that I applied earlier. Again, you can skip this part if you want to. I wanted to create a bit more depth on my lips, so I went with a darker lip color to overline my lips. Alright, the fun part. I'm using my Mehron palette, and the first color we're going to use is the red color. With a brush, I dip the brush in water to activate the color, and now we're going to go ahead and create that nice clowny look, starting from just kind of underneath your lower lashes and creating that little nice circle right over the cheekbones and your cheeks, and bringing and lining it with the lips. So for my Mehron color, it's a face paint color that I'm using. So you can use an eyeshadow if you like. I'm just using a face paint. I have those colors. So for my convenience, I'm using a face paint. And again, you're welcome to use eyeshadows if you like. Okay, so now it's time to do the same thing on our other side. And we're just going to follow through and make sure that the line that we're creating is almost identical to the initial side that we created. So we're going to really follow through and make sure that both sides are identical. Okay, so to finish the clown, we're going to create those lines over the eyebrows as well, on top of the eyebrows, to give it that nice clowny look. Okay, so this part is optional. You could go with a black liner. So I am dipping my brush, the same brush as I used earlier, in the black color, and I'm gonna go over the red line that I had created for my cheeks, and I'm gonna give it a bit more depth. So I'm gonna just kind of follow through that line with my black liner, and it's gonna give me a nice, beautiful depth to bring the clown into life. All right, there you have it.